Hey guys, I'm at Waterfront Market and I'm here to buy my beautiful ingredients for my gorgeous Eid lunch that I'm planning for my family. I'm going to be making a slow braised lamb shoulder served on a bed of beautiful Arabic spiced rice and topped with wonderful dried fruits and mixed nuts. Want to join me as I buy my ingredients? At the Waterfront Market, you can buy everything you need under one roof. Open 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can buy your meats and poultry, your fresh produce, fish. They have a wonderful spice market and also a huge Lulu hypermarket on the top floor. I've bought all my ingredients and now it's time to go home and start preparing my recipe. I'm back from Waterfront Market and I've got all my beautiful ingredients which I've purchased from there to prepare my Eid lunch. Here I've got my lamb shoulder. I'm going to marinate it with a beautiful rub. It's a very simple recipe full of beautiful Middle Eastern flavors. I'm going to need some black pepper, white pepper, cinnamon powder, 7 spice, and turmeric powder. I'll give everything a nice mix and add some olive oil on top. And just mix the ingredients together until it forms a nice rich paste which I'll rub over my meat. I'm gonna add some orange zest. You'll need about a couple of tablespoons. Then I'll just rub the paste over my lamb. Make sure it's beautifully coated on all sides. Just coat everything with the paste and this will be ready to be seared. I'm going to be braising my lamb shoulders in a cast iron pot. I've already heated the pot and I'm just going to add some vegetable oil and I'll sear and brown my lamb in it. Already there's so many beautiful rich flavors that are just coming out from the orange zest and the spices. And by searing the meat, I'm just going to ensure that all the juices just stays in while I'm braising it so that it doesn't turn very dry when you cook it. And I'll just flip and sear the other side. Now that both sides are seared, I'm just going to reserve it back on my tray and I'll prepare the other elements. I want to add a lot of flavor to my braised lamb, so always start off with a mirepoix mixture. So I'm going to just roughly chop some vegetables. Here I've got some onions which I'll just place on the base of the pot, and I'm using the same pot that I've seared my lamb in because I want all the flavors to stay in there. I've got 2 stalks of celery, which I'll just roughly chop. And finally, I'll add some carrots, and I'll just chop into large chunks. Then I'll layer my seared lamb over the vegetable. Now I want to add some aromatics to just give my braised lamb wonderful flavor. Here I've got these beautiful bay leaves that I picked up from the market. Just look at how massive they are. I'll just add a couple of pieces in there. I'll add some cinnamon sticks and thyme. I like adding citrus fruit when I'm preparing my lamb. I'm just going to simply slice this and add it to the lamb. And I'm also going to add some whole bulbs of garlic. A quick tip is you don't want to cut the roots of the bulb, but you want to just slightly cut from the head of the garlic bulb and just place it whole. And finally, just top it up with chicken broth or vegetable broth or even just water, because you know what, there's so much flavor in the lamb. Here I've got some chicken broth. you want to cover the meat as much as possible. So I've got about 8 cups of liquid here. And finally, I will season my meat with some salt. And because I love the aromatic flavors of thyme, I'm just going to add a little bit more on top. And that's it. I'm just going to cover the pot and bring the liquid to a boil. Then I'll place it in my oven and let it braise for about 4 to 5 hours until the meat just is so super and tender. I'm going to be serving my braised lamb shoulders with a beautiful Arabic spiced rice. Now I'm preparing this in the last 45 minutes of cooking so that I can ensure that I can serve both recipes at the same time. Now for the rice, I need a large pot. I'll add a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil, and I'll add about 250 to 300 grams of roughly minced lamb. And I'll season the meat with some salt, black pepper, white pepper, 7 spice, and cinnamon powder. All these spices will give my rice a beautiful aromatic flavor, all very reminiscent of Middle Eastern cooking. Next, I'll be adding my calrose rice. I've got 4 cups, which I've soaked in water for 30 minutes and I've drained. And you just want to fry the rice for a few minutes until it has an opaque color. Now I'm going to add my water. I've got 4 cups of rice, and to it I'll add equal parts of water. So here I have 4 cups of water. And I'll season with 4 teaspoons of salt. So my rule of thumb is 1 teaspoon of salt for every cup of rice. Give everything a nice mix. Cover and let this simmer away on medium-high heat for about 30 minutes, and the rice should have fluffed up and will be ready to serve. My lamb is now ready. I'm just going to take it out of the oven, and let me tell you, it smells spectacular. Okay, let's just look inside. And look at that piece of beauty. It literally is meat that falls off the bone. So good and so tasty, just divine. To serve, my rice is ready. And what I like to do is serve the rice on the base of my serving platter. Just fluff the rice a little bit. And I like serving it in a wide platter so that I can put the lamb shoulder on top, and the presentation of everything is just really magnificent. Next, I'll add my braised lamb shoulder on top. And I really need to be gentle because it's so beautifully cooked. I want to make sure I get the whole thing in one go. Look at that piece of meat. And we just serve this on top, like that. Just remove these pieces of thyme. And I'll garnish this with a mixture of roasted nuts and dried fruit. And this is going to be spectacular. And don't forget some greens just to make everything more vibrant. And that's it, my recipe is ready. Hope you guys like this recipe. Do try it at home and would love to hear your feedback. Wishing you all Eid Mubarak. See you guys later.